Hi, very good morning to all. So today we are going to discuss about network security principles and practices. So here we have uh, different types of models we find out in the network security policy. So before going to discuss about network security policies, here we need to discuss about what is meant by a policy. So it is nothing but a plan or course of action that influences and determine decisions. So the meaning of a policy in the sense it is nothing but a plan. So plan in the sense whenever if you want to do anything, there we need to first of all we need to what we call make a decisions. So decisions will be depends on the plan. So depends on the plan we can able to implement the decisions. So that is nothing but a policy. So here, there we can able to find out the what we call connections from policies to the other things. So here, the policy contains the connection with the standards, and there we have three different kinds of things are there in the standards. The first one is practices, and second one is guidelines, and third one is procedures. So here comes to first one. First one is the policies. So who will make the policy? So here we can able to find out the information regarding policies. Policies will be sanctioned by the organizational most senior management. So here policies will made by the organizations or what we call in our language corporate companies. So here comes to stage number 2. So here these are built from the sound policy requiring that policy be established first. So here policies will made by the organization, then that consists the relation with the standards. So here they to provide the quality to the organization or to provide what we call quality of the product, they we need to follow the different kinds of things. That is what we call standards. So standards again divides into three different types of things, where the first one is practices, and the second one is the guidelines, and third one is the what we call procedures. So for everyone there we need to take some guidelines, and for everyone there we need to follow some procedures. So whatever it is. So this is the information regarding policies. So here comes to different types of elements in the network security policy. So here we have different types of elements, whereas comes to first one is computer technology purchasing guidelines. So example for that one is security features. Already we know very well about different types of securities we find out in the organization, like computer security, whatever it is. So and comes to second one is privacy policy. So for every organization there we need to have some emails or users data. So privacy in the sense to provide the security to the single user or multiple number of users, there we use the privacy policy. So that is in the form of emails or users data, whatever it is. So that is the second one. And the third one is access policy. So what is meant by access control? The meaning of access control in the sense whenever any person wants to access your data, or whenever any person wants to access the some organization data, that person should have the authorized. So without authorization, that person cannot able to access the information. That is, whenever any person wants to access the data, first of all they have the authentication mechanism. So authentication in the sense verification. So verification means whenever if you take some particular, I already told you many times in the class, that is whenever if you take some particular class like second MCA. So whenever first MCA student wants to sit in the second MCA class, there is no chance or there is no possibility. Why? That person has no authentication to sit in that class. So that only second MCA student can able to sit in the class, and that person can able to listen the class and can watch the information, so whatever it is. So that is what we call access policy. That is whenever any person wants to access the data, that person has the some accessing mechanism. That is that person should be authorized person. So that is the third policy. And comes to fourth one is accountability policy. So this accountability includes the roles, responsibilities, auditing and incident handling. The meaning of roles in the sense whenever if you take any organization, so that organization has some multiple number of roles. So roles in the sense some what we call general manager, assistant manager, so and other employees whatever it is. For example, if we take our department, so there we have some department head. So in the second phase, there we can able to find out the faculty members, and in the third one, we can able to find out the students. So head will initiate the some decisions, or head will initiate the some instructions, and that instructions will be passed to the faculty members, and faculty members will pass the information to the students. So here, the responsibility of HOD is to pass the information to the faculty, and the responsibility of faculty is to pass the same information to the students, and students to implement that information. So this is what we call responsibility or roles whatever it is. So that is the policy number 4. And comes to fifth policy. So policy number 5, so that is authentication policy. Already we know very well about authentication. Authentication is nothing but verification. So whenever any process wants to communicate with the other process, so first of all that process should verify the what are the other communicating process with that process. So like that. So here authentication here is that is in the form of passwords, remote authentication, smart card. So here passwords in the sense, so whenever if I want to access any other person electronic way, what we call a Gmail system, so whenever if I enter the username, why I know the username in the sense whenever if I want to communicate with any other person, so that person identification should be known to the all the persons. So that is your email ID can be known to all. So user ID is known to all, but password set by the user only. So password set by the user only. So here, whenever any person wants to access the information regarding a particular person or regarding an organization, there we have some password. So whenever if I provide the suitable password, then only they are able to accessing the information. So there we need to provide the password. So here when we enter in the the information into the system will verify the what type of information submitted by the user. So what type of information submitted by the user. So whatever the information submitted by the user, when that information is matched with the whatever the password set by the already using user, when both are same, then it can opens the information, and that information can be accessed by the user. Otherwise, it may not gives any what we call right to access the information of a particular person information or an organization information, whatever it is. So that is the information regarding password. Okay, and like what we call remote authentication and smart cards, whatever it is. And comes to sixth one is availability statement. So here availability statement in the sense it includes availability statement in the sense it includes the what we call expected availability or QoS. The meaning of QoS in the sense quality of service. So whenever if you observe any organization, so that organization has some quality of service. So whenever if you what we call whenever if you provide a particular product into the market, so every user or every customer they verifies the quality of the product. So whenever if you provide the best quality, then users can able to purchase that particular what we call commodity, whatever it is. Otherwise may not. So that is what we call availability statement. And comes to second what we call seventh one. Seventh one is maintenance policy. So this policy for information technology sector. So here we have different types of informations regarding remote admin, outsourcing, so whatever it is. And comes to eighth one is violations reporting policy. So here we have different types of violations. So different types of violations are anonymous responding, so whatever it is. And comes to last one is supporting information policy. So this includes the points of contact, our publicity, our company policies. So here this will present the what are the different types of overall policies consisted by an organization or consisted by a company, so whatever it is. So that is what that is under the category of supporting information. So here, whenever if you observe the network to security design, so here network to security design like this. So first one, I already told you that a policy is nothing but a plan. So that plan will include the assets plus threats plus risks. So combination of assets, threats and what we call risks is equals to a policy. That is, policy includes these three things. And it comes to second one. Second one is design. So here design includes policies plus control measures. So here policies internally includes the three things, and design additionally includes the another one, that is what we call control measures. So policy includes the three things and design includes the four things. So here we can able to find out different types of elements in the network to security design. So like comes to first one is device security features, and the second one is firewalls, and the next one is VPN, virtual private networks. There we can able to find out the relation between client and the server, or relation between client, what we call server and the client. So here what type of relation we can able to observe the between client and the server. So here a client will make the requesting information from client to the server, and the server will verify the information. So verifying the information in the sense authentication is there. So here every client should register at the server. So those who are registered at the server, so server is ready to provide services to that particular clients only. Those who are registered at the server, server is able to provide the services to that particular user. So that is that kind of information we find out in the client server mechanism. And the next one is access control. So access, already we discussed about access control. Those who are the authorized persons, they can able to access the information from the system, or they can what we call accessing the information from any organization. So whatever it is. So here we can able to find out other things. So like different types of security principles. So here security principles in the sense, that is what we call in our language CIA tribe. The meaning of C is confidentiality, and the meaning of I is integrity, and the meaning of A is availability. So here comes to first one is confidentiality. So here this confidentiality will cover two different types of things, whereas comes to first one is data confidentiality. So what is the meaning of data confidentiality? The meaning of data confidentiality in the sense, it will assures that private or confidential information is not made available. That is, whatever the confidential information or whatever the private information that is not made available to any other person, that is, it is very confidential. So those who are accessing that information, those who have the authorization mechanism, that persons can only access the information. So that kind of information what we call data confidentiality. Whereas comes to second one is privacy. So what is meant by privacy? Here the meaning of privacy in the sense, it assures that individual control. It assures the individual control. What is the difference between data confidentiality and privacy? Data confidentiality in the sense, any person or group of persons can access the information, but whereas comes to single that is privacy. So privacy can only exist to a particular person, like whatever the password we set to your individual electronic mail ID. So that is the first one. And comes to second one is integrity. So integrity in the sense, already we know very well about integrity. Data correctness, I already told you what type of information exists between two parties. So whenever sender sends the information from sender to any other receiver, so sender will send the information in an encrypted form. So by using the encryption algorithm, sender will send the information due to security policies, At the receiver side, receiver will decrypt the information. So whatever the encryption algorithm used by the user, so the what we call receiver will use the reverse algorithm to the sender. Then receiver can explore the whatever original information sent by the what we call sender. So at the last, we can able to find out the match between source and the destination. So that is what we call data correctness. So that is what we call integrity. So in integrity, there we have two different types of integrities are there. Whereas comes to first one is data integrity, and the second one is system integrity. So data integrity in the sense it assures that information and programs are changed only in a specified. So here data integrity in the sense whatever the information or whatever other things can only changed by a particular person. So that is what we call data integrity. And comes to second one is system integrity. So here the meaning of system integrity in the sense it assures that a system performs its intended function in an unimpaired manner, free from the deliberate or inadvertent unauthorized manipulation of the system. That is, whenever any other person wants to manipulate the system information in an unauthorized way, so this type of mechanism will automatically deny that kind of accessing to access whatever information, that is individual information or organization information, so whatever it is. So that is the second one. And comes to third one is availability. So here availability in the sense it assures that system work promptly and services not denied to a authorized user. That is, whenever I already told you one example that whenever any person wants to sit in the second MCA class, so whenever that person belongs to second MCA class, there is no any other what we call accessing controls need to that particular person. That person can enter into the room and that person can sit in the class. Why? That person belongs to the what we call the second MCA class, and that person is the authorized person. So what about other class person? Other class person may not have any authorized what we call accessing right to sit in the class. So these are the informations regarding what we call network to security policies and what are the different types of elements we have in the network to security policies. Thank you all. Stay home. What we call stay safe. Thank you.